Hey guys, Ronan here. Today we're having a tier list, in my opinion, for weapons when it comes to skill-based gameplay, how easy it is to pick up for new players versus how hard it is to actually master, and everything else in between. So I think the categories I have are pretty self-explanatory, and just because I think something's easy versus someone else, I mean, it's opinion-based, but this is my video, so it's my opinion. So starting off, the hammer, this is arguably one of the funnest weapons in the game. It's extremely easy to pick up for new players, and you will have a blast no matter your skill level. There are some things you can do with this weapon, obviously, to make your gameplay better, but if you're a brand new player and not sure what to use and you just want big damage, the hammer has your back. Now, when it comes to this next weapon, the light bowgun, I wasn't really sure where to put this one because I'm not a big bowgun player, but I did try it out a lot in the beta. And I'll be honest, I think it's easy to pick up, but there is a nice high skill cap with this weapon if you really want to utilize your ammo types correctly and all the chain attacks you can do. Now, the Gunlance, more like the Fun Lance, this thing is, I don't know where to put this one because I think it's pretty easy to use, but I've been playing Monster Hunter pretty much since the game came out. I would say this is easy to pick up, but it definitely has a high skill cap, kind of leaning on not for beginners. I would definitely recommend looking up a tutorial video if you're going to use this weapon. So I'm gonna put this at not for beginners. I think it's easy to master though once you understand what you're doing, but if you're brand new, this weapon does have a lot to it that's really not explained well in game. Roricon has a great tutorial on the Gunlance, definitely check it out. A high skill cap, but still very fun. This, in my opinion, is the charge blade. I was really hard on the charge blade in other videos, and honestly, after using it again, it's becoming my favorite weapon to utilize. It is so fun. The Savage Axe mode has done exceptionally well in this game, but there's a lot to charge blade between knowing when to get your Savage Axe, your shield guard versus perfect blocks, elemental sword mode, SAED, and everything else. There's a lot to this weapon that if you're brand new, it's going to take a lot of practice. If you're a veteran and haven't even played the game in a while, it will also take practice because the super amped elemental discharge playstyle is definitely different in wilds compared to world, so that's something to keep in mind, but very, very fun. The sword and shield, so this one, it's either easy but some nuance or easy to pick up and have fun, because the weapon is extremely easy to use. It's one of the most new player friendly weapons to use because you can use items without sheathing your weapon. It has all kinds of cool combos. I feel like it might go down here easy but some nuance, because there are some things to the sword and shield that if you really want to amplify your damage, you definitely want to do. Timing for perfect rushes and everything else that they added new inside wilds as well. Easy to pick up and have fun. Great sword without a doubt. I mean, the great sword arguably is the best weapon in the game. The perfect block system they added is unreal. The charge counter slash, I'm not sure what the name is just a monster of an attack, and the way you can chain that and everything else. You can do really well with great sword and be a complete brand new player. Definitely pick it up if you're new and you're looking for big damage. The insect glaive, oh my god, the insect glaive is getting some really great changes, which I'm happy about. I would say this is definitely not for beginners. The insect glaive has a lot going on. I'd even also put it at high skill cap as well, depending on if you're a veteran or not. It's going to be in either of these categories. Let's go ahead and put it in high skill cap, but very fun, between knowing what parts of the body to send your kinsect to, whether you're aerial playstyle versus ground and everything else in between. This weapon has a lot going on for it, so I think it has a high skill cap. The lance, okay, the lance is also, in my opinion, probably the last weapon we're gonna put in easy to pick up and have fun. This weapon, I mean, the pokes do great damage. You have amazing defenses. Damage wise could be higher, but it is an absolute tank of a weapon. Easy to pick up for anyone that wants to use it, at least in my opinion. Is it as easy as a great sword and hammer? Probably not, but I still think it is pretty easy. You know what, let's move it down to some nuance, because there are some new things they added in wild, so we'll put it with the sword and shield category. The heavy bowgun, we're gonna put this at easy to pick up at higher skill cap. Kind of similar to the light bowgun. You need to know when to switch your ammo types and everything else in between. very fun. I mean, if you like the range type of combat, this weapon is really, really easy to pick up. But if you want to master it, it does have the higher skill cap. Dual blades. Okay, so dual blades, I'm either going to put in easy to pick up and have fun, or no, we're going to put it in some nuance. Mainly because the dual blades, at first glance, seem like they may not be that strong if you play the beta, which, trust me, in the base game, they're way stronger, especially once you get the right elements. You can attack elemental weaknesses, but you really have to make a build around dual blades. Like when it comes to your stamina usage and everything else, dual blades are really, really easy to pick up, but they do have some nuance, so I'm gonna leave it there. I think that's fair. The bow, I think we're going to put in easy to pick up at higher skill cap. Anyone can use the bow at ranged and do decent damage, but if you really want to skyrocket your damage, there's some things to know about the bow that you should practice. And it's so strong right now that it's actually getting nerfed come live release, so keep that in mind. But it is an absolute tank of a weapon. Like, it does so much damage. It's on a whole nother tier of I can't wait to see speedrunners do some stuff with the bow. Longsword, I'm putting at not for beginners. The reason I say that is because the longsword, you can do a lot of easy things with the longsword. If you just want to go in and do damage, you can do that. But if you really want to combo the damage, get your helm splitters in, get your EI slashes for those counters and everything else, and actually utilize the whole kit of the weapon, is definitely not for beginners, because you have to practice. You have to know the monster's movesets to really take advantage of that. So that's my opinion. The switch axe. Now, the switch axe is... it is kind of easy to pick up, but also not. Like, if you're brand new to the game, you're probably not going to understand this weapon right away until you practice a little bit. But it is, like, the basic playstyle is pretty easy to understand. I'm going to either put it in easy to pick up, higher skill cap, or not for beginners. You know, I'm going to go not for beginners, mainly because they added the... almost like a counter to the axe mode. They're having some adjustments in the live game once it's released to make the switch axe better. There's a lot to the switch axe, so I'm gonna put it for not for beginners, but it is one of the easier ones not for beginners to pick up. There's just a lot going on. And our final weapon here, the hunting horn. I am not sure where to put this. This is either an easy to pick up and have fun, or easy but some nuance. We're gonna go easy but with some nuance, because they added the new, like, bubble, like, attacks. I'm not sure how to describe it, but, like, you put bubbles down, you can do notes. There is so much more than simply just playing notes for this weapon, which every switch axe will have different notes to play, different melodies. But if you really want to master it, it's knowing when to do those songs in combination with the attack patterns that you do with this weapon. So I'm gonna say it's easy to use, but there is some nuance if you really want to master it. So looking at the tier list, our choices for easy to pick up and have a lot of fun: hammer and greatsword. I don't think anyone would argue with that. I think the greatsword does have a little bit more nuance to hammer, but they're both very new player friendly and do big damage. Easy but some nuance. You got your sword and shield, lance, dual blades, and hunting horn. Easy to pick up, higher skill cap. You have the light bowgun, heavy bowgun, and bow. Conveniently enough, all three ranged weapons. Maybe I'm biased because I don't play range that much. And then not for beginners, the fun lance, aka Gunlance, longsword, and switch axe. And high skill cap but very fun still, you have the charge blade and the insect glaive. I'd love to hear your thoughts down below. Do you agree with me? Do you not agree? Definitely let me know why. I'm Ronan. Like and subscribe if you're new. See you next time.